Hello, boys and girls. So there is this meme which I really love. It involves some Disney Donald Duck badly drawn figure pointing a finger up, and it says, "That's bullshit, but I believe it." And this is certainly among my top 10 memes for reasons I want to elaborate in this short video. So I think, for context, I think originally this phrase derives from some JoJo's Adventure manga, and the meme was more used 7 years ago or so. But the reason why I like it so much is because there's a sense in which I really identify with this kind of stuff. So there is, sorry for the wind and the talking and the traffic and the light. There is, Jesus, I'm growing out my hair, and I am not even planning to stop. So there is this genre called theory fiction, which I really like, which is, it's a fairly contemporary genre in books. It sort of derives from science fiction, but it sort of intermingles with more like academic style writing. So it's not like novels, but instead presents itself as like a scientific text, and even uses real scientific academic facts to make its point. But the thesis is always sort of magical or a little bit out there, mystic or bullshit. So one good example is Negastani, who is I think a land pupil from back in the day. He has a book on, the main thesis of the book is that oil is sentient, right? So literal, crude oil being sentient, having a will in a sense, affecting people and everything, the world, how the earth interacts with the sun, how it stirs, leads to wars, and I'm not going to summarize. There's YouTube videos on this book. There is YouTube videos on another book which I really love, Spinal Catastrophism. Which let me give you a theory fiction example that is more tangible. So there, one thing that also pops up in Spinal Catastrophism and is I think always from some Russian guys 100 years ago, some idea. It's that the language, so for example the English language, is a sort of parasite which survives like a parasite through humans, which sort of captures the human body, the throat, stirs the hosts, right, in a way that language affects how you think, how you can think. And so there's this idea of language as an agent. And it's I say it's a little bit more tangible because I think it's picked up in Metal Gear Solid 4 or so. And so you can see that there's you can work with this idea, right? You can get something out of it. And at the same time it's sort of bullshit. Okay. And I love this kind of stuff if it's good, if it makes you derive your own ideas on top of it, if you can use this as thinking. And here's one of the main points I want to make is that firstly, I think a lot of ideas don't even have to be correct to use them for more practical things, right? So you can now start talking about the metaphysics of true statements and all those kind of things. There's certainly a sense in where you have some mathematics that is repeatable, applicable. There's a certain notion of truth applies to it, and I would also say that a lot of these theory fiction ideas carry truth in a real right sort of way, right? So I would definitely I would argue that a lot of things that people consider true fall already in this sort of attackable realm, and sort of if you go into bullshit ideas presented in some theory fiction, it's not actually that far away from some things that a lot of common sense using folks would consider true. Okay, so I don't want to get too abstract. The last point I want to make is that I think a lot of philosophy in general has the feature that it has no right interpretation, and almost by design, the philosophy that survives often survives to this day because exactly it's not like math, because there's some way to apply it to the contemporary times, get something true out of it, and that's sort of a feature, not of a bug. And I'm really interested in like the German idealists, all this 19th century philosophy, and I think in part the fact that it's bullshit as well in the broader sense does not at all mean that it's not like true, because basically nothing is true. Like a lot of these things are either it's like hands-on math that helps you win bets, or it is this sort of fuzzy notion. So I'm in defense both of never provable metaphysics and theory fiction kind of bullshit that, despite being bullshit, I'm really inclined to believe. Okay.